Do you want to know what makes this seat super hard to rip? Today we're going to do an explain and review on the Stranger Further V2 seat. Like always, we're going to tell you how you can win a bunch of free parts from our bike shop later on, as well as winning a free bicycle from us. We're very close, so stay tight for this episode, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that in the short future. We're also going to tell you where you can buy this seat. We're going to tell you a bunch of specs and some in-depth information about this seat. So let's get to it. First off, this is one of our most popular seats. There's a lot of reasons why. First off, I think just the color of the seat, it's really vibrant, and it kind of just kind of lures you in, kind of like a lure on a fish hook. So I think that's the number one thing. But there's a lot of other features on this seat that draw a lot of our customers to it. So actually, before I toss this away, check this out. This is the Tomorrow finish. They used to do a sublimated seat with this Tomorrow texture on it. They kind of went away with it years ago. I think it's about 3 or 4 years old. But this is pretty cool, but they kept it on the packaging. I think it looks pretty rad. But it comes on that cardstock. But let's talk about the pivotal style one. There's other styles like the tripod one. We don't really sell it on our site because it just doesn't sell as much. To be honest with you, I know a couple other pros and stuff out there. They really like that seat, and there's some cool benefits, but I see there's a couple other ones that kind of make it a little difficult. My situation on the tripod seat is that it was really complicated to figure out how it actually bolted together. And even when I figured it out, there's this little plate in there that's really hard to get in there and to actually bolt it down. It kind of made it a pain. I'm pretty good with bolts and putting stuff together. My hands are a little bit larger than most riders, so maybe it was just because I had bigger hands or something like that. I know women tend to be able to do more intricate things with their hands, and I don't know, it just didn't work for me. I couldn't see like a novice or a beginner rider trying to put that on and just grasp the concept of it, because it doesn't really make it simple to adjust it. There are 2 adjustments on it which make it pretty nice for most riders, but I think the versatility of the actual pivotal style makes it simple for everybody, because it's one bolt. It's only got one place to go, and as you tighten it up, you can kind of just adjust it as you look at it. So you could actually have it on tight and then move it around and kind of get the feel of where you want it. So I think that's one of the big features, or the reasons why that a lot of customers end up buying a pivotal rather than something else. I've heard explanations of like it's an extra seat post to buy and stuff like that, and yeah, it is, but I just think that the tripod is a little bit more complicated, even though it seems real simple. I've even bolted them up and bolted them together wrong, and the seat would end up shaking. I've had other customers complain about that too, and I think it's because they bolted on incorrectly. And like I said, it's just a little bit, I guess if somebody would show you how to actually install it and actually how to like put it together, I think it'd be a lot simpler. But I think a lot of us are males and we don't like using directions or anything like that, so we end up just tossing them or not really watching videos or anything like that, and the information wasn't there as good as like a pivotal, or wasn't as straightforward as a pivotal. So we tend to sell the pivotal just because the energy to sell seats and to teach our customers about stuff. This just makes it real simple, and I think this is going to thrive over a lot of other seats. If you don't agree with me, that's totally cool. I understand. Everybody likes different things. If you want to leave a comment below, maybe you can change my view or anything like that. I'm very open-minded. So if you have another reason why you think tripod is more popular or should be more popular, leave a comment below and let me know what's up. Also too, I think that this seat is, it's just relatively simple. And the pivotal style adds, something real versatile, because a lot of complete bikes that come with the pivotal post, even when you buy an aftermarket seat and seat post, usually you have that seat post for a very, very long time, and you don't really got to change it. I think it's one of those parts on your bike that just last forever. It's kind of like I don't know, you'd say maybe metal bar ends, or maybe even your headset or something like that, where it's pretty generic size, so you tend to keep it longer. But I think that's one of the main key features that makes this seat so durable and so tough, just because it has this it has this like super light pan. There's a lot of air holes cut out on it. I don't know if they're actual air holes, I think they're just recessed, and this just creates like an I-beam, so it's a lot of protection on there. Yes, I do see these things break a lot, and I think a lot of people that are complaining about breaking them are probably from doing tail whips and stuff like that and not landing pedals. I've seen a lot of guys do that, and they gotta realize it lands super, super hard, and it's definitely gonna help break it. And I know the tripod is a little bit stronger and it lasts on a lot of those blows, but you know what I mean, I guess you should just land tail whips to the pedals more often. I can't really say that because I don't do bunny hop tail whips very well. I can't even do them actually. But one day maybe I'll be in that spot. Maybe I'll turn my way to the tripod. But I like the fact that these are super lightweight. They're just very simple, and I think that's the main thing. But this pan definitely helps you out with both of those things of adding strength and stuff like that. Another thing is that it has a bunch of guards back here. So if you have a seat that falls down, it tends to hit right on the edge. So this plastic bumper actually guards a lot of the material and keeps the material free from button up on stuff. On the front of it, it also has this guard right here, which I think this kind of does both. It helps the front nose from hitting stuff on the edge, which adds a lot of protection to it. But another thing is that a lot of the staples and stuff like that come out from it hitting and it pulling on it. So just having this bumper on there adds more pressure right here and keeps this material on there very, very tight. Me, I prefer to take this thing off. I just don't like how the way it looks, but it looks a lot cleaner without it. I tend to leave the front one on because it does hold it in there pretty good. But if you don't like the way that looks, you could always take it off. It doesn't really, it takes away some of the protection, but I just think it looks really cool, and it's pretty hard to hit there. Usually your seat hits up on top, so at least for my riding, everybody's different. If you're riding ramps, maybe it falls down and hits right there. So I guess if you ride ramps and you're having that problem, just look at your old seat and see where it rubs right there or where it's actually getting damaged, and then that'll help you out on buying a new seat. So that there. I guess the next thing is it's got this little patch right here, and this patch right here has a little Stranger logo on there. I think that's another cool feature about the Stranger seats and the actual pivotal ones, because they have like a little patch. It gives it kind of style to it. The other ones, I do think that they do look kind of cool without an actual patch there too. It kind of adds to a little bit of more of the design on the actual sublimation. But having that little pad or that little rubber stamp just makes it look a little bit higher end. It looks like they took a little bit more time to actually make it. So to each your own. Some people like the super, super clean look. Some people like this traditional look. But yeah, to each your own. But also too, if you look inside of here, you can't really see in there. Try to open it up, but there's a 6mm Allen head in there, and what it does is it actually connects to this bolt here, and this is what threads into your actual seat post. So there's a hole on your seat post, and it has little guts on there, and it actually has the same cutout as this, and you just bolt it in there. Once you get semi-tight, then you could rock it, figure out the angle that you want. Actually, it'd probably be like that. Figure out the angle that you want, and then you just tighten it up even more once you got it locked in. Maybe shake it a little bit, and then you can tighten it up really, really well, and your seat's not going to go anywhere. This is completely different than the old school seats that we used to run. We used to have metal rails that made like a little U right here, and then they were bent up. They came in here, they dropped down, and then there's a metal bolt, or that little metal rod would go into the back of the seat right here. What I always had problems with was that they had these weird guts that stuck out of the side, or we had like this weird aluminum seat post. You may see them on mountain bikes and stuff like that. but just stuff would always get bent. The rails would get bent, and then one would pop out of the side of the seat, and then your seat was trashed. The little bar would cut your leg and stuff like that. So definitely hyped that those are gone. Those things pretty much sucked. The other thing is that the rails on the actually there's not even rails. The rails would be held by these two plates on the mountain bike style seat post, and the rails would actually like push onto the little plates and bend the plates a little bit, or if you ran it loose, it would actually teeter-totter, and sitting on it and stuff would end up bending the little plates, and then your seat would never get tight because it wasn't flat, or your rails would end up bending and they were round, so like it really didn't have any meat to grab on it, and it just caused a lot of problems. The aluminum post was also aluminum, and it would go through and just the stuff would wear out, the little teeth would wear out, and it's just because they weren't super jagged like these. These ones are super deep, similar style, but just way more simple, so that adds a lot of strength to the seat, adds a lot of longevity, so that makes it super cool. Besides that, that's like the structure of the actual seat, and the actual thing that really makes this seat super tough is the actual material that they made this out of. A lot of people are going, okay, there's a leather seat, they don't like that. There's one that's rubber that's coated on top of it. Others use some other, fabrics and stuff like this. But Stranger and Richhurst over there went the extra mile, and they used a high quality canvas on here. So if you don't know what canvas is what a lot of military guys use for their duffel bags, and they carry a lot of different things in there, a lot of sharp objects. So they want something that's really heavy duty so that they can travel, throw it in the Jeeps, throw it into the Hummers, stuff like that, just beat it around and it's not gonna rip. The canvas tends to last a very long time, and that's because it's a bunch of strands woven together to actually make a sheet of material. So I've had this wallet for quite a bit. I think I've had it a few years, but actually like 6 months or something like that. But see how it's canvas on the edges are wearing down a little bit. It just I don't know, it's just super heavy duty. You can put a lot of stuff in there. It's not gonna bust out the seams or anything like that. It just holds together really well. So making this seat out of the same material makes it super awesome. But I think they did a perfect job by doing that. Another cool thing about the material is that they could actually supplement an actual design on this material. So if you're not too familiar with supplementing is they actually they screen print, or like it's like a laser inkjet printer style thing, and they actually put a whole image on a whole sheet of material, and based off of how you're designing your product, you can lay it out, and you can have like the top here, which they've done here, and then they could have other pieces that they can cut out, and how you design the artwork will help match up the actual seats. So what Stranger has done really well, I've seen a lot of other people try it, but they do it pretty well, and they've actually make one solid piece here, and then obviously you're gonna have remnant pieces, which is everything's not gonna be a perfect square or like fit perfectly. So you have to actually strategically design your artwork to fit on there, and then you could actually cut certain sections out and then be able to stitch them together. So if you notice, like on this top piece, it's just one solid piece, so you could just get out a perfect piece of square material and just do your little seat design, and then then you got your logo. Yeah, that's the easy part. But if you look at the front of here, this one here is all one piece. So in reality, this is actually like a big old long flap. So it'll come up to about here, and it's actually thick, and then go thin and go thick again. So what he had to do is create the artwork to actually be like yellow here and yellow here, and he had to do a bunch of test ones, most likely to actually get it to fit around here and to sew it perfect. And then on the back side, you see a similar thing. It has a lot of dark blue here with some light purple and pink in here, and this one's a little bit longer as well. So he had to stick that somewhere else on that actual sheet and be able to cookie cut all those pieces out, and then for the person that's sewing it up to actually be able to lay them out and connect them properly. So it does take a little bit more time. If you're wondering why the seats are a little bit expensive, you got to realize that it takes more time to create that stuff. So I know you guys don't like redoing homework and stuff like that. That's pretty much what this guy's doing. Is he's drawing something up, going over there, making it, or having somebody print it out, which is spending money, and then he takes that back and he takes it to his little, layer, and he cuts it all up and he makes a sample seat, and then, hey, you know what, this worked good, but this didn't. Hey, I gotta go change this one. So he'll go back there, go back on his computer, his little layer, and design it a little bit more, move the mouse and do all that stuff, and then, he'll print out another one and then go get it and then come back, spend more money, bring it back, do it again, and keep repeating it until he's happy. And this probably didn't go first try. I don't know how good he is. He's super, super good. He's been doing a lot of different things, so he might be pretty good with it. But it probably took a few times, so he probably spent money to print on these a few times, and then to actually relay that information to somebody that's actually stitching it up, to actually be able to cut it out and to stitch it up properly. So this style is way harder than actually having an all-over print, which is like a money, logos, a bunch of them in a row or something like that, where you just cut a piece out and you just stamp it and you just sew it all together and then boom, it's together. This is actually, connecting all those, so that makes it super, super cool. And then just on top of the canvas, that makes it super heavy duty. It makes it super, super rad. So that's one of the big reasons why this seat's so tough, and it's very, very durable. Another reason why this is something that gets overlooked a lot, and I think that you guys know what it is, but you guys really don't see it, and you guys don't really appreciate it until somebody points it out. So I'll go ahead and point it out to you. So if you know what single stitching is, double stitching, triple stitching is, this seat here comes far and beyond what a lot of the other seats do. If you want to know what that is, I would kind of think of it as your shoes. If you buy a high quality shoe, it's usually going to be double stitch, maybe even triple stitch. But if you buy a cheap pair of shoes from the swap meet, or some knockoff brand, or Alibaba or something like that, it might just have single stitch. And single stitch is going to come apart really, really easy, right at the seam. So what Stranger has done is they actually use this pretty cool blue threading on here, and that too is probably some nylon material, so that it adds extra strength. Nylon's a derivative from plastic, so it ends up holding a little bit more, and it might be a little bit of cotton too. Cotton's pretty durable, but I'm not too sure. It looks maybe a combination of both, maybe even like rayon or something like that. But it's got a cool vibrant blue. It's not gonna fade because it's, like I said, it's made out of plastic. So I've seen these things wear out and the blue doesn't really fade. The top kind of fades from butt juice and stuff like that. So if you got a real sweaty butt, you might wear it out pretty quick. Or if you drop it a lot, you might wear it out a lot quicker. So if you want your seat to stay nice, I suggest not to flip your bike upside down or drag it on the floor, or maybe wipe your butt before you go ride every time. But yeah, just the color just stays real vibrant because it's supplemented on there. It's not just like a print or something like that, or like a I don't know how you say, it's like a screen print or something like that. So that makes it super, super cool. It's kind of embedded inside of it. So with that double stitching, what I was saying about double stitching and make it more durable is the fact that when your pants or your t-shirt rips or something like that, it tends to rip from the seam, and that's because everything is looking for the weakest link, and the weakest link is usually when you put something together that wasn't originally made and woven together. So when it's woven together, it's a lot stronger, but when you cut it and you butt them up together, then it tends to fall apart because the ends can fray, because that still has a weave in it, and those will slowly fray, kind of like your jeans. When you cut shorts or something like that, you can see how they fray, and then you can keep peeling them and stuff like that. It does the same thing on your seat inside. Even though you don't see it, it's still doing it. So having a double stitch adds more protection from both sides. So this one even actually is this one's actually triple stitch, I believe. Yeah, you can It's probably, yeah, you can tell they flipped it inside out and they sewn up the inside like that, and then once they flipped it around again, they sewed up the little flaps that are on there on the outside to give you the blue. So this is triple stitched on here, so it looks super sick. That acts super durability, because if you look right on the seam, it has there where it's folded, and then these are stitched again, and these are actually holding the flap. So there's a little bit of material right on the outside of this actual threading right here, and then this last stitching is what holds that on there. So even if one of these stitches break, it's still going to hold up because the other two stitches are going to hold it. So very cool on their part, and I think that is like the number one thing that makes this seat super durable, is just the fact that it has so much stitching on it. That's why the seat is more expensive. And the more stitching they have, that means they have to go over it multiple times in order to get it right. And if you look at the stitching, it's super spot on. It's right on the edge. It's like a 1/16 of an inch right off the edge. So it looks really clean. They got someone that can sew really well. So definitely gonna spend a little bit more money to create the seat. So if you're wondering why the seat's a little bit more expensive than other seats, that's why. You get what you pay for. You're buying a cheap product. They probably aren't paying a signature rider to endorse it. They're not trying to kick anybody else any money. They're just trying to mooch off the culture and pretty much just suck up all the BMX coolness from the actual cool guys creating BMX and doing it for the love, and kind of stealing from those guys. So yeah, good quality stuff, costs a little bit more money. Another thing is, you probably want to know, hey, is this seat super soft, or is it, I'm looking for a super soft seat. Be honest with you guys, if you're looking for a soft seat, you guys got to stop riding. Like, if you're just there to sit on your seat, you're not riding BMX. So it doesn't really matter that it's soft, because it will break in. After you ride it, after you put your bike upside down a few times, this actual padding is gonna stretch. The little fibers are gonna stretch. It's gonna mash down the padding a little bit more, and it's gonna actually make it get softer. So the more you ride your bike, the more you sit on it, is gonna actually make it softer. There's a few seats out there that are feel a lot softer, and a lot to do with that is just the material. If you want something that's super soft, then buy a seat with the high-end leather and stuff like that. But then you got the same person going, oh, I don't like the leather. Oh, I want something with the freaking sublimated, nylon on there. And you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't look at it and eat it and go, oh, that's so yummy. You have to pick one or the other. If you want function or you want, visual, then you gotta just decide what you really want it to do. If you're sitting on your seat all the time, that means that you're not riding, you're not bunny hopping, you're not dropping in the bowl. Nobody sits on their seat while dropping in the bowl. A lot of guys that actually ride, if you see them, they're rarely sitting on their seat. If your butt starts to get hemorrhoids or anything like that from sitting on your hard seat, then I would suggest start riding your bike more and doing some tricks, because those hemorrhoids will go away because you're not sitting on your seat anymore. So definitely think about getting a firmer seat, something like this, because like I said, it will break in. This one's super soft. I think it's one of the softer seats. Yeah, it doesn't feel soft out of the box, but ride it for a little bit. It'll break in, it'll feel nice, it'll look good, and you can just keep on riding and ride with style. But good job to Stranger and Rich over there for creating this seat. This thing has been killer on everybody's bikes that I've seen. Everybody that's bought it, it looks super dope. I've seen a bunch of different styles of bicycles with different colors, and this thing looked awesome. I've seen blue bikes, purple, red, pink, yellow, green, pretty much every color under the sun, white, teal. The seat pretty much matches everything, so spot on with this. Good job over there. Shoot them some money and buy the seat, because it's going to help them make some more cool products, and you guys love cool products. And don't complain about the price, because it is what it is. They're trying to make it as cheap as possible, but things do cost. The better things are going to cost more. The crappier things are going to cost less, because it takes less effort, less time, less actual money to create it, because it's just one and done. So very cool. Support those guys. They're doing awesome things with BMX. They're creating a lot of cool things, and I don't know, they're just supporting their BMX team and supporting a lot of people out there in the streets. And a lot of shops out here, they give shops a little bit better margins, so that helps us make money here in the store and keep our doors open. So we appreciate you guys doing that for us. But very cool seat, very good job, and yeah, Stranger is killing it with this further V2 seat. So like I said before, I'm gonna tell you, I was gonna tell you how you can win a bunch of free stuff from our website and from YouTube right now. Is when we hit 1,000 subscribers, which is, last I checked, was about 13 subscribers away, we're gonna give away a free parts package from all the brands that we carry here in the store. So all you gotta do is like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe, and then also turn on your notification bells so that every time we drop a new video, you get a chance to enter a contest. So by commenting below, by telling us what you don't like about the video, what you do like about the video, tech tips that we should do next, what products we should feature, I don't know, what tricks you guys want to learn how-tos on, what BMX tricks for beginners do you want to see, pretty much anything that you don't see online, that you haven't seen on YouTube, that you've been searching forever and wanting to know about, that's what we're trying to give to you. So leave the comments below, let us know what you want to see, what you want to know about BMX, and I'll tell you about it as much as I can and to my knowledge, and we'll try to keep growing this channel and keep bringing cool videos to you. So do that, leave a comment, and that'll enter you into the contest. Like I said, we're going to be picking a winner in the next couple of days, so just leave that comment under here, and yeah, you could be the winner, next few days, maybe tomorrow, maybe today. But if we don't get the subscribers, we can't pick a winner. And then at 5,000 subscribers, we're gonna give away a free bicycle. So all you gotta do is the same thing. So even if you subscribe now and you don't win the parts package, keep commenting, because you may win the bicycle from that same comment. So don't get disappointed. Keep entering, keep showing us and telling us what you want to know about these videos, because you guys are helping us, and that's our way of giving back to you, is giving you guys a bicycle, helping somebody out there that's in YouTube world that needs a new bike or just wants to have a fresh one and is pretty lucky and he ends up winning the bike. So that's how we're giving it back to you. But yeah, just comment below, make sure you enter, don't sleep on it. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. We appreciate you guys. You guys been killing it on the comments and the subscribes. And check us out on Instagram at Stack BMX Shop. And then you can check out me on my own Instagram at Can't Stop LA. And yeah, thanks again for showing up today. We'll see you tomorrow.